Beautiful people, welcome back. Hope everybody is doing fantastic wherever you are in this world. You guys, we're halfway through the week. You know, with the holiday being on Monday, it just threw me right off. But you know what, we're closer to the weekend, so I shouldn't be complaining. Hope everybody is doing well. Can I just vent for a minute, okay? So today I went to the post office because I had some stuff that I needed to post off. So I get there, one person that's actually working there, because everybody else was, I don't know where. There were like 6 people in the queue, so it was just a whole mess. I get to the counter and I had 5 packages to actually post off. So each time she did one of the packages, she asked me to actually check to make sure that the address is right, is corresponding with the address on the package, the address on the screen. Okay, fine, all well and good. So by the time it came to the last package, she actually told me I needed a customs form because it was actually being posted to Canada. So I'm like, okay, no problem. Do what you need to do, and then once I've paid for everything, I'll just step aside, fill it out, and then, you know, just hand it back to you. So she says, okay, fine. So she gave me the customs form, and she gave me the package back. She says, okay, we're done. Go. $150. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's expensive to post Canada. So I'm like, okay, fine. I inserted my card, did what I needed to do. But it was still sitting on my mind. You know, I was like, let me look at the receipt when I get it. So I moved out of line, went to fill out the customs form, and I just said to my daughter, I said, let me see that receipt. So I'm counting, and it's like, this receipt seems mighty long for just 5 packages. So as I checked, I'm counting. As I get to 8, she says, excuse me, ma'am. I'm like, yes. She says, oh, can I have your receipt back? So I'm like, okay. So she says, oh, I am so sorry. I actually charged somebody else, this gentleman, stuff on your bill. So I'm like, how do you do that? You know? She says, oh, no, I'll just void everything. I said, okay, fine. I'm standing there. Next minute, I see her on FaceTime. I'm like, excuse me, ma'am. Aren't you supposed to be voiding, sourcing this out? Oh, I don't know how to do this. I'm calling my manager. I said, on FaceTime? She says, yeah, he's not here right now. So I said, okay, fine, do what you need to do. So I looked at the time, 2:30. I'm like, okay, I've got about half an hour left before I gotta go pick my babies up. So next minute, she hands me the phone. So I'm like, hello? So apparently it's the manager that's in her car driving back to the post office. She says, can you check your bank account to see if you've been reimbursed? So I sent my daughter to the car to get my phone, check. Nothing. The transaction was still on my account. $150 was taken off this. I'll actually show you guys. She says, oh no, it should be put back into your account. I'm like, I'm showing you on my phone. The money hasn't been put back. She's like, oh, I don't know what's wrong with your institute. I'm like, excuse you? I suggest you get yourself back and sort this out, because I don't have the time for this right now. You're in the car. I don't know where you are. This woman has charged me for somebody else's packages, and it's like, it's just too much. So now everybody's getting agitated in the queue, because this queue is growing. You know, she's got this man that's packages that I paid for, and then you got like 8 different people that's waiting in line, and there's no help. So she says, oh, I'll be there maybe in half an hour's time. I'm like, I don't have half an hour. I need to go. So can you walk her through what she needs to do so she can give me my money back and I can get on my merry way? She's like, oh, if you don't have the patience, then too bad. I'm like, excuse me? She says, I handed the phone over. I said, ma'am, do what you need to do, because I don't have the time for this. She says, ma'am, I am so sorry. I'm like, I don't understand how you even managed to do this in the first place. She says, oh, can you come back at 4 o'clock? My manager will be here. We can sort all this out. I said, you know what, not a problem. I'll be back. Took my fat backside back into my car, and I drove off to fetch my daughter. Picked her up, came back, got to the post office at exactly 4:17. But it just seems there's something not right, because the parking lot is empty and there just seems to be no like movement. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I pulled up, 2 other cars pulled up, so I'm like, okay, let me try the door. Locked. I peek in, nobody's in there. Post office closes at 4:30. This is 4:17. What the hell is going on? Now, bear in mind, I left there with this charge still on my account. I don't have the receipts. I don't have the packages. pray for me. Because it's like, don't they have to close out on a daily basis? You know, close your register out and they need to balance out. Oh, but anyway, it's neither here nor there. I'll figure it out tomorrow morning. But if it was $50, not a problem. You know what, it's fine. Keep it moving. But my postage only came to, I think, about over $50. But I was paying for like probably $100 worth of his postage. No, sir. Not today. Not Christmas yet. But anyway, you guys, please, 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 once again, I will leave the Gabby Petito Foundation down below. I'll leave her YouTube channel and Mel's YouTube channel. Please go and subscribe to their channels. I see Gabby's is growing, so is Mel's. Let's get them in honor of them. Can we please get them to 1 million? If you know anybody, like I basically rallied all my family, got all of them to subscribe to their channels, and I just binge watch on Mel's content, and her content really brings a pleasure to me. So that's just me. Thank you so much in advance for doing that. Also, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you'll be notified each time I upload. Please do not take what I say as fact. Feel free to do your own research and come to your own conclusion. It was announced on Monday that the Teton County coroner will hold a press conference regarding the ruling of the autopsy of Gabby Petito. So, lo and behold, and you know, deep down I was praying for the best in Katie. And I was hoping and praying that she doesn't use this to make a video. And lo and behold, she went and she made a video in regard to this announcement. So, in my opinion, this just goes to show how desperate she is. Just my opinion, desperate. Doesn't give a damn about the next person. Only worrying about herself, about getting those views, clicks, which turned into money, okay? And also on the other end is that, in my humble opinion, that whole video, there was nothing new. There was nothing that could contribute to what was going on, besides the fact that she announced that they're going to come out with the ruling of the autopsy results. But she still could not get it right. And I'm talking in regard to the manner and the cause of death. Now, let me refresh your memory. In September, the 21st of September, the FBI put on their Twitter, that's when they announced the manner of death in regard to the Gabby Petito case. And I've showed you this. And you guys, there's a difference between cause of death and manner of death, which I'm going to put inserts in here so you can see for yourself, okay? And it actually says the cause of death is the specific injury that leads to death. The manner of death is the determination of how the injury led to death. There are 5 manners of death: natural, accident, suicide, homicide, and undetermined. Now, we know for a fact that the manner of death in Gabby Petito's case was homicide, okay? But this woman still couldn't seem to get that right. And I'm going to explain my observation at the end of the video. So this is what she said in her video, where she announced that they are going to do a press conference in regard to the autopsy of Gabby Petito. Take a look at this.
So right now we only know that they have ruled the death as a homicide, but we don't know we don't know the actual, we know the cause, we don't know the manner, so we don't really know like how it happened. So tomorrow we will get their experts to say this is what the ruling is.
Now this person, Katie, right, she classes herself as a journalist or a reporter, or she seems to know it all, okay? So how does she keep getting this wrong? Such an important case, such vital information where there's a huge difference between the two, and she still can't get it right. Amazing, absolutely amazing. But let's move on. She makes this statement at the end of that video.
So that's everything that we have today. If you have any leads, tips, or information, be sure to let me know in the comments below.
I can't tell anybody what to do, especially KJ stans, okay? But just use common sense in the situation. Why would you send any leads, tips, or information and leave it in Katie's comments? Anything regarding important information, especially in this case, should not be left in Katie Joy's comment section. It should be given to the proper authorities, the FBI. Here is the number, you guys. Please, please, I beg you, do not give Katie Joy any information. None. It's not her place. She's not investigating this crime. She's not law enforcement in this case. She is a YouTuber that is milking this tragedy for her personal gain. That's all it is. Then once again, she goes on to actually throw shade at the attorneys for the laundries. And I get it, fine. You know what? Do what you need to do. But this has always been my philosophy, you know, as I've grown as a person. Make sure your front door is swept before you go and sweep somebody else's front door, okay? And in the situation, okay, she's always throwing jabs at how he's not a criminal attorney, some other attorney. So she's always throwing jabs at them for not having a criminal attorney. But she's not looking at it from her own perspective. It's like, doesn't she have estate planning attorney? He deals with trust, wills, power of attorneys, and she's dealing with defamation. So it's like, Katie, you need to choose your battles here. You know what I'm saying? And also, she is the one that says, do with it with what you may, with what his words were. Let me play this clip for you.
Gabby Petito's death at such a young age is a tragedy. While Brian Laundrie is currently charged with the unauthorized use of debit cards belonging to Gabby, Brian is only considered a person of interest in the relation to Gabby Petito's demise. At this time, Brian is still missing, and when he is located, we will address the fraud charge pending against him. So, again, calling it a demise and a tragedy, you can do whatever you want with Stephen's words.
Okay, Katie. So, tragedy, I think, is fitting. This is just my opinion, because as far as I'm concerned, you are actually milking this tragedy for your personal gain, in my opinion, okay? And I want to point you guys out to, this is the perfect example of Katie Joy YouTube versus Katie Joy Instagram. Here we go.
So right now, where we're at is we have a lot of information that we still don't know. We don't know what happened. We only know it was strangulation. We don't know the day it happened. We only have an estimated time frame. We also don't know that it's Brian, although it looks like they're working to connect those dots at this time. So a lot of people wanted him to pinpoint and name it as Brian Laundrie is the one who did this, and he continually said, this is not my job.
You heard it for yourself, folks. We don't know it's Brian. The authorities are trying to connect the dots. But check this out. Not even long after this video was done, we get the Instagram Katie, where Instagram Katie gives a fuck, okay? And this is what she says. So she posts this side by side of Brian Laundrie and Chris Watts. And she says, weeks ago, I said Brian Laundrie's appearance was so similar to Chris Watts. Today, we know that like Chris Watts, and I emphasize, you guys, let me read that again. Today, we know that like Chris Watts, he murdered Gabby by strangling her. Chris Watts strangled his wife and suffocated his 2 daughters. Both of these men are monsters. I know Brian isn't charged with the crime. I don't care if I'm not saying allegedly. We all know he murdered her.
Report by the coroner was pretty, like, we didn't get all of the information. You see that there's really no one else that it could have been than Brian, factually. When you look at the timeline, when you look at the means and the method that he used?
No, Katie, you know, because you were there. You saw everything unfold. So instead of the authorities trying to figure out the time of the events that she died, why don't you go and give them all what they need? Because it seems as though you were there when all this unfolded. Now you see, you guys, the difference between Katie Joy Instagram is where she doesn't give a fuck because she's not monetized there. She's not getting any coin there. But when it comes to Katie Joy YouTube, she wants to be on the up and up, and she wants to say all the right things, not get anything wrong, mislead her audience, because she clearly said, we don't know if Brian did it. If on YouTube we don't know who did it, but on Instagram, oh, Katie, no, Katie Joy, you know Brian did it. Then what are we even doing here? You know, I'll be damned. Then she comes across like the compassionate, empathetic, concerned individual. I call bullshit.
Obviously, the news of what happened to Gabby is going to be extremely difficult for her family.
Katie Joy, this is never, ever going to stop being difficult for this family. If you even had the slightest bit of compassion, empathy, or even concern about this family's well-being, you wouldn't have even touched this case, okay? Because with the reporter or a journalist, you don't insert yourself, you don't involve yourself, you don't make things personal, but you have done this from the get-go. You decided it was a fantastic idea to play some Instagram lives, and you had, apologies in advance, the fucking audacity to talk about somebody's child by calling her a stoner? Are you fucking insane?
I just want to say that Gabby looks like a little stoner. They're smoking bongs, and it's like, oh, they're just two little stoner girls. So they're clearly very high. Anyone that's a smoker can tell that Gabby is lit.
Did it ever cross your mind, Katie? Did it ever cross your mind that maybe there was one time she tried it out? One time. But no, you had to take it to the extreme of calling Gabby a stoner. You should be so fucking ashamed of yourself. You know, if this is any consolation, I am so sorry to the Petito family for everything that this woman has said about your daughter. I humbly apologize on behalf of her. Then she goes into the foundation, which I'm going to play that clip for you. Okay, let me play that clip for you.
There is also a foundation that was set up by Gabby's family. So knowing that it's a really tough day and knowing that they are going to be trying to channel their grief into a foundation to help other families who have gone through what Gabby went through and what they have gone through as a family, please consider making a donation to the Gabby Petito Foundation. We will also be donating to the Gabby Petito Foundation as well. And our hearts go out to Gabby Petito's family, her mom, her dad, her step-parents, and all of her siblings on this horrible news.
Before I go into her Instagram, okay, if anybody can point me in the direction of her talking about this foundation for more than 2 times, I would eat crow. Because at the end of the day, it's never been about Gabby's well-being, about her family's well-being, about being sorry to her family. Once again, it's all been about the money, the clicks, the views. And I have said this from the get-go, from when I heard this, because in my opinion, this is so important to honor Gabby, okay? When I heard from Mel on his channel that it was Gabby's wish and dream to reach 1 million on her YouTube, that's the least we can do right now. She went ahead and she posted this on her Instagram. It says, thanks for donating to Gabby Petito Foundation. And she says, Without a Crystal Ball has been encouraging others to donate to the Gabby Petito Foundation. We also believe in walking the walk by setting the right example. Bullshit, Katie Joy. If you were setting an example, you'd have made note of that Gabby Petito Foundation link every single video you made about Gabby for the past 2 weeks. Nah, you didn't do that. If you were so supportive to this family, like how you've been hearing all these speculations and all these false rumors, I'm sure you heard how it was Gabby's wish and dream to reach 1 million on a YouTube channel. But you can't promote that because she will exceed you. Let's keep reading. She says, we also believe in walking the walk by setting the right example. You had this example to set when this foundation was up and running, in the beginning, from the get-go. Did you? No. You sat on one of your Instagram lives and you were bragging, flexing about how it's nothing for you to pay $2,000 to go spend a night or go to a Halloween party with John Bon Jovi. Oh, it's nothing for you. But at that time, you still had not contributed to the foundation, Katie. But let's move on before I go any further. She says, with that said, Without a Crystal Ball has donated $1,000 to the Gabby Petito Foundation to help the family achieve their goal of helping others who've lost a loved one to domestic violence. Please consider donating too in Gabby's honor or in honor of the loved one that you've lost today. Why did it take for you to be called out about donating to the Gabby Petito Foundation? Why did it take for people to call you out, for you to finally donate to them? And you still want to have the fucking audacity to say that we believe in walking the walk by setting the right example. What example did you set, Katie Joy? What? The best thing that I can say, the only example you set is on how not to be a fucked up person, in my opinion. Because what you are doing is so wrong. So wrong. Milking this case for everything you can, Katie Joy. So you tell me, do you ever just sit back and think of, oh, if I discuss this, how will it affect the parents? Did you even think about that when you said that she was, when you said that Gabby Petito was a stoner? Speculating. You didn't know her. You are absolutely despicable. You didn't set any example. None whatsoever, Katie Joy. It took people to call you out to actually donate. So why didn't you wait for your AdSense? If you can't come and say now you were waiting for your AdSense, because why? The pressure was too much. I actually posted this on my Twitter, and it says, Without a Crystal Ball coverage of Gabby Petito, tweets 905, Instagram posts 231, YouTube videos 21, YouTube views 666,000. WOACB contribution to the Gabby Petito Foundation, 0. New hairdo, new eyebrows, new makeup, new computer. Only reason I did not include Facebook is that I don't do Facebook. The reason I made this post, I was so fed up of Katie Joy milking this tragedy of Gabby Petito. Not one time mentioning to anybody how it was Gabby's wish and dream to reach 1 million on a YouTube channel. How she was racking up these views, these videos, tweeting. This is exactly why now she decided to donate to the Gabby Petito Foundation. Because you kept being called out over and over and over again. She couldn't handle the pressure anymore. And now she was being called out by these big YouTubers. So I was actually on Twitter this evening, and Llama Girl put this up, which was so enlightening. KJ has earned between $3 to $5 per 1,000 views. Her total 3 days ago was 666,000. At $4, that's totals $26,640. At $3, it's $19,980. And at $5, it's $33,330. This is from 3 days ago. In my opinion, it's not about the amount. It's about what and how she's done everything to date. Okay? She's speculated. She's put out false information. She's got things so wrong. She's doxed people. She's disrespected Gabby. All in my opinion. And I very much can stand by those. Because one thing I'm going to tell you guys right now. This woman has no intention of even giving another cent, in my opinion. You know why? When she sat on her Instagram live, she said she was going to donate to some other domestic violence charity. That's why I put this tweet up, because I was so frustrated. It's so frustrating that a person can be so oblivious. At the end of the day, Katie Joy is going to keep doing what Katie Joy does. But this is what I did observe from that video she did on Monday. Katie Joy is feeling the pressure. Katie Joy seems way too preoccupied. She's making stupid mistakes. It's like she's so preoccupied. It's like she got so much on her mind, but she still got to do what she has to do. Because she got bills to pay, she got a family to take care of. She's got all this responsibility on her shoulders. And I can empathize with that. But you know, there comes a time where you just have to just let go. It's okay to surrender. It's okay to humble yourself. It's okay to say, I'm sorry, I fucked up. It's okay, Katie. You know how much respect you will get for that, Katie? You've got to think about your own mental health. It's so, so important. It took that tweet of mine, in my opinion, because I believe, I don't even check my tweets afterwards. I just tweet out what I need to tweet out. Even my kids were like, what the hell is going on with your Twitter, Mom? I'm like, I don't know. I just tweeted out something. And then my daughter that's fully aware about Twitter, she checked it and she's like, oh, okay, Mom, it's fine. It's not a problem. People are just retweeting it. It's nothing bad. I'm like, okay, thank God. All these people that retweeted and messaged, and I'm like, damn. So can we start a Twitter thread or thing that says, can we get Gabby Petito to 1 million on YouTube, and it's going to be retweeted? I would love that to happen. Please, you guys, let's get Gabby Petito to 1 million if we can. And also Mel Thompson, because her channel will be a revenue for her family. So let's just do the right thing, you guys, please. But you know what? I just can't with this KJ. You can see it's starting to take a toll on her. And at the end of the day, she's got to surrender. She's got to, just for her own mental health. But it's just left to be seen. So you guys, that's it from me. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. Please don't forget to be safe out there, wear your mask, and please be kind to one another. So you guys, until the next one, bye now.